welcome to our Pod for Good City Council election live stream spectacular, which was too much for me to put on the little thing around the border here, but just know that's what this is. I am, as always, your chief philanthropod and class clown, still waiting for Biden to get rid of my student loans, Jesse Lorch.
I am your Vice Admiral Philanthropod, Chris Miller, and Class Clown for Justice 2.0.
All
Really
right.
nailed it.
I like how you and I never are on theme
No,
for
no, no.
those, which is appropriate, I think.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyway, so next Tuesday, right? I got my dates right?
Yep.
We have a city council election on top of some other things on the ballot. And
Early voting starts tomorrow.
Yes, I noticed that. Someone running for District 4 posted that earlier today. You would think Chris and I would know everything about the city, considering how many people we talk to, but honestly, there's so many things happening on a local level, it is very hard to know all the different things that affect both like who is on the city council and what those districts do and represent and the different issues surrounding all those districts. So soon, hopefully, we will have friend of the pod and current city councilor for District 4, Kara Jo McKee, join us. And we're going to talk about the different districts. We're going to talk about her experience on the city council, how she was able to survive it, if she's going to miss prayer guy, all the things you want to know about being a
And
city
the stuff,
councilor.
the burning questions, like what are the charter amendments about? And
Yeah.
do they matter? And should you care? And I mean, I don't know if she'll tell you how to vote, but she might.
I mean, maybe if we did this in like late November, she would tell us those things. Maybe not now since she still has to serve for a couple more months. Like, is GT Bynum getting a raise? The answer is no. We think. Anyway.
Yeah, he already got a raise. So
that's what it is. Yeah, this is the problem with governments in general, is that you make new rules and sometimes you don't go back and like erase the old ones, and so there are confusing things in there. So
I thought the problem with governments was that you can't trust them. They just try to take your guns.
Well, some people might think that, but
I've heard that that's what one of the charter amendments is. It means that the city can take our guns. Is that true or false?
Honestly, I don't know, and if so, that's not a terrible idea. So, hot take: we have too many guns. Yep.
Jesse, you've heard it here first. Jesse wants to take your guns.
I do want to take your guns. We have
personally.
Too many. Yeah.
He wants to take them. You don't need all those guns.
I'm gonna come
Give
to your
Jesse
house.
one.
I'm gonna come to your house unarmed, and take your guns. It's gonna go great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, the international Jewish conspiracy is coming for your guns.
And it's in the form of just Jesse.
Just me. Listen,
wearing a t-shirt and a blazer and no weapons.
No, it was one of those situations where they asked for volunteers and I didn't notice everyone else taking a step back, and so it was just me. It was one of those situations. Yep. I got pranked real hard. Yep. So, what else? Oh, by the way, since I wouldn't say killing time, we're stretching time.
Yeah.
Pod for Good has an email list now. We have an email. I'm going to send out emails. If you want to sign up for it, here is the URL.
Bah, 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 bah.
Emails.
Oh, right. You can do the actual thing.
I can.
Pearl?
April, that's what MailChimp web shortening was. So there it is. ePearl. What I've always found funny about short links is that they don't make them like easy to remember.
No.
So really, it's just you're copying and pasting less.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that really serves any purpose whatsoever.
Right.
But
it should be like, podforgoodemaillist.com. That's easy to remember.
Listen, I'll make
rather than just a shorter thing.
Yep. Well, while we're talking to KJ, I will behind the scenes be making that short link. So, Perfect. For any of our listeners who are actually watching this, the three people, and I can pretty much guess who those three people are. I am no longer in District 4 with Chris, sadly. So I know I'm in District 9, way down south.
Yay! I don't
know. And I've noticed a lot of signs for one candidate in town running for this district, and not the other one, the one that KJ supports. So the election will be pretty interesting. I'll also have to remember where I vote. But that's why you have voter cards. So
have you changed your registration?
I did. That's one of the first things I did, actually. So
smart.
thank you to the U.S. Postal Service. I'm not gonna say this often, for just like making that part of the address move process. They're like, hey, do you want us? I had already done it. They're like, but we can also tell your city that you've moved for voting. I'm like, sure, let's do it twice.
That's
So
nice. Oh,
yeah,
why? So you can vote twice, Jesse?
listen, yes, I wish I could. So it would be funny to go to my old voting place and see if my name's still on the rolls. That might be a fun experiment.
Hmm.
So, um, because as we know, the people who are actually caught stealing votes do not vote for the same party I do. So just take that.
Yeah, so you admit that voter fraud exists.
Yes, I do admit. I do admit in incredibly small numbers, and also not for who you think. So
Yeah.
KJ is
So,
texting me about the start time of this, so
uh,
she'll be joining us soon. Um,
what do you think about the Pennsylvania Senate election with Dr. Oz and his attempt to appeal to the common man by talking about how expensive crudités are when purchasing them from a grocery store?
can we
Do you
talk
think
about
that was effective?
No, it was not effective, and because first of all, it's a French word, so he loses the common folk right there.
Right, it should be
Um,
freedom tay. Crude freedom. I don't know. Crude freedom. We'll go with that.
freedom veggie tray.
Hmm.
Mm. All right. Again, 3 people watching. Put in the comments what you think a crudité should be called. What is the freedom fries of crudité? Crudités, by the way, never good. Like I've never been like that was a good crudité. Like the only time I've ever had to purchase them was when I was working for an organization and we'd buy a crudité for like backstage for the guests who were coming to an
And
event.
they were actually called crudité, not just a veggie tray?
I feel like Whole Foods would call them crudités, so
Okay.
they're probably crudités.
I don't think
So-
I've ever been at a grocery store that actually called them crudité.
Well, certainly not in Oklahoma. So,
I mean,
first of all, Oklahomans known for not eating vegetables. We are a not eating vegetable type of state. So,
Mhm.
does the fair, like does the county fair, do like fried crudités? Because that'd be interesting.
no, something to
So-
think about. You know what sounds good? Fried celery. Give me some of that.
God, it's probably still terrible. No matter what you do with celery, it's just not pleasant to eat.
It's
It, like-
fine. It's a nice crunch.
It gets stuck in your teeth. It's not good. Not a fan. Well, I'm really excited to hear the feedback from the people watching right now about whatever this is.
Jesse, anti-celery, anti-guns.
Yep. Hot takes all around. Don't like celery.
Pro
no
voter
guns.
fraud.
That's right. Wow. Yeah. I look like a real idiot.
Listen, that's the goal.
Is looking like an idiot? Well, then we have succeeded. We succeed, everybody.
Huzzah!
I don't have the applause button. I should
Mhm.
have the applause button there.
Oh,
So we talk a lot, you and I, about
yes, that's
how
true. We
local
talk a lot.
elections- we do talk a lot
way
normally.
too much.
We do. I think all of our friends and loved ones would agree that we talk too much. They would disagree about who is the loudest of the two of us, but that's another topic altogether.
We can both just agree it's Jeremy.
That's true. Jeremy, if you're watching, you're not.
He's not.
You're the loudest. He'll never hear this, so it's fine.
It's fine.
Hopefully someone tell him. Anyone, if you know Jeremy Lippiatt, tell him he's the loudest. He'll agree.
Don't tell him why. Just tell
Yeah.
him that.
Yeah. If you ever trying to clear out a restaurant, bring Jeremy. Works every time.
That's actually true.
So after you took me off the tangent of the thing I was about to start,
You're welcome.
thank you. Like you and I both talk about how local politics is the most important because it actually has the most tangible effect on our lives on a day-to-day basis. And yet, like we cannot convince people that it is important to go vote in their city council elections, even as something that's supposed to be nonpartisan becomes more and more partisan the longer we are alive,
Yep.
right? Especially, I feel like this year there's a lot of more money in the elections than there normally
Mhm.
are, and
Yeah.
like lots of people running. Like,
For
I
sure.
mean, District 4 has what, 6 people now?
Down to 5. Started
down
with
to 5.
7.
So that's a lot of people. Hold on as I send KJ the link to her personal email.
Okay.
so that we get this
Excellent.
going. And here's the thing, like the rule about live streams is like the first 10 minutes no one's watching anyway. So
Okay. Except for those of you that are, which thank you for watching.
yeah.
Although we haven't had any comments yet. So if anybody who's watching wants to make a comment, no matter how stupid it is, Jesse will read it out loud.
That's right.
If it says something like, I think more people should have voted for Trump. I think that the
Don't make me say that,
FBI
please.
is persecuting him. These are just ideas that I'm throwing out there.
Can I tell you, I hate being in the position where I have to defend the FBI. Like the FBI does a lot of good, but they also have a complicated history, as all law enforcement in the United States do. But
Mhm.
like, you're not allowed to take classified things with you. Like it's not. This isn't hard,
Hmm.
right? Once you're no longer president, you no longer get to.
There it is.
I
Right
will
there,
not
Jesse.
say that. I will not.
Jesse,
Fine.
say it. You said you'd say it.
You said it. I didn't say it.
Yeah, that counts
Fine.
though.
I'll say it. Thrive Telsa, first Thrive ever here.
Yes. Thrive. First Thrive, best Thrive.
I disagree. But yeah, like the president, the current president, the person who is currently president, is the
Mhm.
one who has the ability to classify and declassify things. You don't. That doesn't. It's not grandfathered in to ex-presidents.
Yep.
So
One question about that: is it possible for something to both be declassified by somebody, but then also simultaneously planted by the FBI? Because I've heard that. So for that to happen, does that mean that it got declassified when the FBI was planting it, or before the FBI planted it and it was declassified and then the FBI planted it?
either way, you still
Mhm.
had classified documents that you weren't supposed to take with you. So also like there's evidence of him like flushing things down the toilet. Not good is all I'm saying.
Especially when fireplaces exist.
That's true. Yeah, well,
That
you know,
seems smarter.
I imagine Fire does things to like his makeup and hair situation. He probably doesn't want to get too close to that. So
Mhm. We're going way off the rails right now.
this is what happens when it's just us, which is why we've never done a podcast just the two of us. Because actually we did, and no one
Just
listened
the
to it.
two of
So
us.
and Jeremy actually. So
Oh, God.
and I didn't even know how to level volumes back then. It must have been crazy. So
Is KJ getting here soon? Because
Listen.
we're going to start shedding listeners fast.
our repartee is, I would say, hilarious and informative. So
Yeah.
I mean, some might say that. I've
Some-
heard people say.
I've heard
that.
people say that
Yes.
about us. Yeah, for sure.
I've been called the treasurer at one point. So
The treasurer?
no, listen, racist. It's funny. The thing I've never been on any of the boards I've been on, I've never been treasurer, and I've been very proud about that. Because
So did you say treasure?
treasurer, yeah,
Treasure,
Yeah.
not treasurer.
not treasurer. Pretty clear.
Pretty clear. Treasurer.
So, you know what? While we're waiting for KJ, I think this is the most effective time to thank Pot for Good sponsor, Tallgrass Estate Planning. For the 3 people watching, if you haven't already, you don't have your estate stuff settled, reach out to Tallgrass, tell them we sent you. You'll get a discount. I think it's 10% off. But call Tallgrass. They're great. So I hope they're happy about that. So
They would know they're not listening right now.
That's true. Yeah. Listen, if they know us, they don't have to hear this. Like they hear this anyway. So, by the way, this is really going to be off topic. Oktoberfest beer is now being sold, so it's the best time of the year. My favorite beer time of the year.
I thought Cold Snap was your favorite.
No, I just said I said I liked it once, and you have all never let me forget that. And
Are you saying we took one comment out of context and built an entire stream of jokes out of it?
Yep, it's not something our group normally does.
No, weird.
It's actually very rare. Like Cold Snap, very rare. And but
so Oktoberfest is available. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Which is your favorite brewery for Oktoberfest?
It is the one beer I think that Sam Adams gets perfect. is their
Ooh.
Oktoberfest. I really, really, really like it. It's like just as like sweet as you'd want a beer without being too much, like
Hmm.
very drinkable. You don't taste any like I don't know. It's just very good. Maybe because they mass produce it, it like tampers some of the things I've tasted in other Oktoberfest beers. But
Gotcha.
I really like it.
So Jesse hates local beer. You heard it here first.
Local beer shouldn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Marshall's is really good. Cabin Boys is good. I like Coops.
Coops is good. Coops is
Coop
good.
does a good one as well.
Was it Reese's? It was Trader Joe's outside, actually. No. Yes?
I bet Trader Joe's has a crudité.
I bet they do, but I bet they call it, let's see, what brand name would it be under? Do they have a French name for any of their
Probably.
stuff? Trader.
Trader France.
Yeah. Like, what's the French way of saying Joe? Joe already has so many letters that you don't pronounce, so it'd be Trader J. So, again, this is great. I'm glad we started this when we did. I'm glad I told people this was going to be remote days ago.
So did KJ not realize this was going to be remote?
2 problems that happened here. 1,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think KJ thought it started at 6:30, and 2,
And 2. Okay.
she thought it was at a place like our anniversary show. So she was literally out. She was walking out the door when she texted me, "Where am I going?" I'm like, "Nowhere." So
excellent. Excellent.
this is what happens when you try to plan something like this while also doing, your job. So, but again, we still have 3 people watching. So to those 3 people, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Aaron, for commenting.
Yes.
So, we don't normally get comments or reviews or anything, any sort of feedback, other than people say they listen, but then give me no evidence that they do. So, which I don't mind. I'd rather everyone in town say they listen.
Did anyone actually listen?
Well, I mean, of course I would want them to listen, but I'd rather have a collective sense that everyone thinks everyone's listening to Pod for Good.
I see.
Right? Than no one tell me anything and also not listen.
Okay.
So,
gotcha.
all right.
You like sweet lies. Gotcha.
Yeah. Tell me lies. Tell me sweet little lies.
Mm-hmm.
The great Fleetwood Mac said that. All right. KJ's in the green room, so we're gonna let her in so we can stop whatever this is. This 17 minutes of just pure us killing time.
If this was one of our podcasts, this whole section would have been
of course I would have
completely edited out
immediately. Yeah. All right. Well, let's bring KJ in so we can get to business.
Yeah.
I'll wait till she's done taking a drink because I'm polite that way. All right, here we go. Hello. Now we have fun technical issues.
Yeah. Well, at least people on the live can see KJ. That's
right.
a step up. She's got
She made the same face you made when I couldn't hear you earlier. That's just the face people make when they're not being heard, which I like. So we lost a viewer. So one viewer's like, I just wanted to hear Jesse and Chris,
spout nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Which they could have gotten for free. I mean, this is free. So either way. While she's working on that, I'm going to bring up my little PowerPoint that I made this afternoon.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, well.
I hear phone ringing.
Yep. She might be calling me.
Hello? Could you bring my headphones up? They're right next to my side of the bed, I think, on that dresser.
Oh. Hey,
well,
KJ, we can hear you.
That's fun.
Yeah. So we can hear her, but she can't hear us.
That's right. That's the magic of...
Ooh, look at that.
So for the people watching, KJ just used the private chat in the live stream thing to tell me that Jean is bringing her headphones, which we heard because we can hear her, but she can't hear us. So
yes.
That was all us laughing at this. So, so we'll have KJ soon. But what is up on the screen now is the city council map as of now, which is going to change as of December 5th. So I still don't know how the election part works. Are you voting? Are the
You're
I guess
voting
the-
for the new district format.
yeah, yeah. So the people have to be living in the district as it will be.
Yes.
All right.
Wait.
Can you guys hear me? Because I
Yes.
can now hear you.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, we got you.
Excellent.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Very exciting. I'm gonna switch to this one. Sorry, name tag show. There we go. All right. Yes, that was funny. We heard you called you. We heard the ringing of the phone on the speakerphone. It was great.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad that you have the new map up because I have the old map behind me for nostalgia's sake. But
So yeah, hold on. Did I put
Yeah.
in reverse? So that's the new one, right? Because
Yep.
this one has district. Yeah. So this is the map as it is now,
mhm.
and this is the map as it's going to be.
Yep.
And I want to ask you one question first, because this affects both maps. What is up with District 2? Why is it down there?
Why is it like that? Well, the other side of the river is it's not as populous
Yeah.
as it would need to be a district all on its own. And that's the main thing. I mean, redistricting happens infrequently enough for us to forget that there's always a bit of controversy and kerfuffle over where the boundaries are going to be. And in the past, sometimes the gerrymandering has been super duper obvious. This time, I feel like the election commission tried to do a good job of using like roads to be the boundaries instead of like, here's one guy's house. But yeah, District 2 is a little squirrely because there's all those county areas that you can see
Yeah.
up there that aren't part of Tulsa proper. That's Holly Refinery and those areas are not part of Tulsa specifically. So,
But I guess my question is, if District 1 is the most north one, why isn't District 3 District 2? I guess is my question.
yeah. Why didn't they go on a let's go clockwise in a spiral or something? That's how I would have done it.
Mhm.
I've wondered that too. Mhm.
So, all right, we still don't have an answer to why District 2 is not just District 9, I guess.
The mystery continues.
Yeah. And so there's 2 spots in District 3 that don't count. I'm assuming one is the airport, but I don't know what the other one is.
Let me see.
There's a small one and a big one. I'm assuming the big one's the airport. But I could be wrong. I'm just curious what that other thing is. So,
Is it part of? Okay, in District 3, yeah, that is. I'm not sure.
if anyone in the comments knows, let us know. So,
Let us know. I'll text Counselor Patrick right now.
there you go.
Yeah,
Um,
I've got the inside track for a while at least. They all answer my text messages, right?
Yeah. Well, you can.
so,
So
Right.
can you help us clarify, as Jesse and I were confusingly talking about, when people vote for the city election next week or as early as Thursday, are they voting based on the new district map or the current district map?
The new one. And that's going to be confusing for folks. I don't know if you guys have seen, I have a Facebook event up where every day for more than a week now, I have been trying to invite every Tulsan that I am friends with. I even logged into my husband's Facebook account and invited some of his friends.
Excellent.
I'm just really trying to make sure everybody has all the information and checks their polls, checks their sample ballot before they get there on Tuesday, or if they're early voting Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that they know where their polls are and they know whose signs they should be looking at, which candidates they should be researching, because the boundaries have shifted.
I have a question. Why isn't New Tulsa a part of Tulsa? There's a little New Tulsa here on the map. What's up with that?
Oh, okay. I'm taking notes. I don't know what's up with that. It didn't get annexed when
Yeah.
everything else did, but
I say we go take it. Like this is Tulsa now.
Charge.
We're planting our new Tulsa flag. I feel like that's actually very appropriate to Oklahoma history. So
you're gonna get us in trouble, Jesse. New Tulsa is coming.
listen, you missed our hot takes earlier, which is I want to take away everyone's guns.
That's
Celery's
true.
terrible. And what was the third thing?
You are pro voter fraud
That's
as
right.
long as it's for Trump, I think. Is what it was.
For or against Trump? Which
well,
were
like I said one thing, and then Chris took that thing to mean another thing. But,
No.
Oh,
That
okay.
doesn't sound like me.
No. We were talking about, I guess, crudité gate. If that's what you want to call it. So, perhaps
Yeah.
one,
Yep.
stupid crudités are, and two, that like this is what we're talking about. So,
Got it.
um,
Well, last night at the District 4 forum, someone asked about why the city councilors haven't been more vocal about, anything with regarding guns and what we do. And I sat there beaming in the background as the only city councilor who took interviews from media. I had like 5 different CNN outlets calling me when the tragedy happened at St. Francis, because I was the only one that would take their calls. It's a really, really tough thing to talk about when you are a city councilor, knowing that you don't have as much power as you could. I think there are things that we can do, but especially during an election year, my colleagues didn't want to touch it. I'm not chiding them for that, but I did speak up, and I have joined Moms Demand Gun Sense, and they're a really organized group, or Moms Demand Action for sensible gun control is the whole shebang. But Moms Demand Action, they're a good group. We have to do something, right? So.
yes. I'm gonna go knocking door to door, unarmed. With the people's guns.
Yep.
So,
He's just gonna go to people's house and be like, "Can I have your gun?"
can I have your guns? And they're gonna, and hopefully at worst they'll say no and slam the door in my face. So,
Right. Yes.
We'll see how that goes. I'll start in this neighborhood, my new neighborhood. We'll see how that goes.
I was going to say, come to District 4. It's safer here, Jesse. Like,
Yeah.
Listen, I miss District 4. If only I could afford homes in District 4, I would have stayed. But
yeah. I talked to my barista at 918 Coffee Shop the other day. She's like, I would love to have walked here like you just did. Yeah, we have to do something about that.
Yeah.
So is your last, like, your term goes till December 4th?
Is that the Monday? Yeah,
Like,
it's the first week in December.
Okay.
I think it's the first Monday in December. Is that right? Or Tuesday, something like that.
Well, I know December 5th is when, like, the new districts take over. So I'm guessing that is the first day of the new term.
Yeah.
I'm making assumptions based on information the City of Tulsa's website gave me, which, again, could be better phrased.
Yeah, I think I'm the counselor until they're sworn in, right? In case there's a disaster, a flood or something, and they need to call me to the situation room.
Does the City of
Underground
Tulsa
bunker.
Yeah, I was like, does the City of Tulsa have a situation room?
During the floods, we really were like in an underground space at the courthouses with the mayor, and sometimes the governor would drop by and whatnot, trying to figure out what's going on and how to communicate with our constituents about it. So sort of what TPD is doing with their new, what is it called? Where they'll be able to see what's happening with everybody's cameras live. That will be in City Hall, and I expect that will have some opportunities for city councilors to, in real time, see what is happening.
Yay, the police state. Fun times. So, okay. Now.
Yeah, let's get into the meat of this. All right. When everybody wants to know, let's talk about the charter amendments.
Yes.
That's what everybody is most excited about.
Everyone everywhere just keeps asking me about what's the deal with these charter amendments that are coming up.
Yeah. They're all pretty inoffensive, I think. The most heated discussion we had about any of them was about one time a city auditor was elected who was crummy at their job, and this was before my time. I don't even remember the dude's name, but people were like, thank goodness we have an election coming up and can get rid of him. But we can always, if there's someone being unethical as the city auditor, that can certainly be dealt with. Call a special election, do a vote of no confidence, whatever needs to happen if there's someone that's legitimately a problem. Which one is that? That is it's not number 1. Is it 2 or 3? Here we go.
3's about the city auditor.
Yep, that's the one. So we had some discussion about that and decided, it's all right, because people are okay with not talking about the city auditor more than 4 years. At least that's what we figure on the city council. Every 4 years is probably often enough, since most people aren't necessarily paying attention to that. Now, we'll see. It's on the ballot because it's not up to us to decide. We just decided that it was okay to let people decide.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got the sample ballot up. So I've got the three propositions. Proposition 1
I just pulled them up too.
Yeah, is the one thing about the mayor's salary and how like it's
So the
listed-
mayor's getting a raise? Is that what it is?
The mayor is getting a raise. This one, I was like, take it or leave it. No, wait, no, is the mayor getting a raise? Actually, I don't
No, this is
think
the
this is the
language
one where
one.
mayor isn't getting a raise, but it is like putting the language. It's reconciling the language to fit what we're actually doing within the charter. Yep, that's what it is.
deleting
But
the
let's
specific
start a
option
rumor that
language.
it's a raise for
Yeah.
the mayor and scare
Right.
everyone right now.
Listen.
Let me just do that. No, that's not what
No.
it is. Sorry.
No, we're not starting that rumor, but Chris and I do have a question.
Sure.
Okay.
I doubt you know the answer to this, but maybe somebody watching the summer will know. It's like, recently, Chris and I have been driven down a particular street in Tulsa a couple of times, and we keep noticing a business that's called GT Bynum Co. And we're
Mhm.
like, what is that business? What does it do? Why does it still have his name on it?
Is it on Peoria? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
Peoria.
I've seen it too and have wondered the same thing. I haven't figured it out. Maybe his new chief of staff will
there
be
you
able
go.
to let us know. I mean, I could text Blake. I can ask him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
We should
yeah.
all- We should all text Blake right now. Be like,
Right
"Hey,
now,
what's up
Blake,
with GT Bynum and Co.
figure it out. I'm excited for the mayor to have Blake in the office. I feel like that's actually going to be a pretty good thing. Last night, Channel 6 reported that everyone in District 4 is running to replace Blake Ewing because he's now been added to the mayor's staff. And
Ooh.
Wow.
what am I, chopped liver? I mean, 4 years, they did happen. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Listen, a lot of people just kind of wish at least the last 3 years didn't
Yeah,
happen. So
It's not personal.
for some people, the
right?
last 6, you could go back 6 years and maybe
Yeah.
erase since
Yeah.
since 2016. So
There have been some rough times. It's funny looking at the candidate questions, listening to the District 4 forum last night. Some of the candidates, they're all coming in hot with anger about some things that I restrained myself, but 2 beers in, I really felt like jumping up and yelling, "Do you not remember that we had a pandemic and a ransomware attack at the same time?" Like,
yeah.
yeah, the city councilors actually tried pretty dang hard. The council, the mayor, the city staff. I'm not saying we get it all right, but there have been just absolutely exhausting challenges that for elected leaders in the past have legitimately not had to deal with a lot of what we've dealt with lately.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But by the way, Proposition 2 is the one where someone has to live in the district they're going to be running for at least a year.
Yeah, that's our anti-carpetbagging
Yeah.
measure. I think it makes sense. Now, someone could potentially move freshly to a new place. Maybe it's somewhere they grew up and they're coming back, or they lived just outside the district. There are ways that it could be a person is legitimately prepared to represent that location. But I think it's fair to say that it might be useful to actually live somewhere a year before you decide you're going to run for office.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, I lived in District 4 for 2 years. It's still know very, very little about it. So, because my street was in darkness.
Darkness, which is definitely my fault.
What's funny is my new street also in darkness. So it's not like I moved to a street that also has weird sidewalk issues and no lights. So
Yeah,
it's just,
all of it's my fault. You just blame it all on me. I'm going out, so I can be the fall guy.
Now you have a new city councilor to blame, though.
Right? Oh, that's right. None of it is my fault now.
That's right.
right.
He's
As
in a
of
completely
December.
different-
Mhm.
Well, plus
Jane-
he's in a completely different district. So
that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jamie Fowler, where are my lights? Where are my lights, Jamie? Anyway.
Oh.
So, okay. Like, we talked about this beforehand. Like, Chris and I are going to try to goad you into saying things about people that we know you're not going to say, but we're going to try anyway. But because you've worked, like, your
we'll do
district-
another one of these December 5th, and then you can just let
there
loose.
we go. You can let loose.
KJ tells all.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, your District 4 is the only one that doesn't have an incumbent running. So at least you can tell us, like, the working relationship with the incumbents. But I figure we should just go through the districts, and we'll save yours for last.
Okay.
The juicy bits. So, all right. So District 1. Hold on. I have to change the... I feel like there should be a transition button for these. But so District 1, right? We have Vanessa Hallhopper, David Harris, and Franchetta Mays?
Franchetta. Mhm.
Franchetta. All right. Now, I know you and Vanessa Harper work very closely together. she seems to be a very good city councilor for District 1, especially now that she's getting back the part that probably should have always been in District 1, the Greenwood area.
Mm-hmm.
So, but so like, again, you
Which
don't
is
tell
not a
people-
dig at you and your support of Greenwood. It just
Thank you. No, I was there for them, but I know that there are people within Greenwood who felt really that division was artificial and strange. There's still a contingent pushing for dismantling 244 and making it whole, and doing away with
use
some of
the
the red
drop.
line, right?
Use the drop,
Yeah, hold on,
Jesse.
drop.
244.
There we go.
Yeah.
Eventually, I realized we bring it up enough. I had to come up with a fun drop for it. So.
Oh, that's fun. I scheduled a meeting today, or I had my counselor reach out to Rich Bruyere of NCOG and Jed Cochran of the mayor's office to get an update on what their plans are with all that before I leave office. I'm going to know more about that. But, and I'm going to bring Vanessa, of course. Vanessa Hall Harper, I do have to say, I'm working on my endorsement of her right now. I'm not publicly out there specifically endorsing or, speaking out against any of my colleagues. I think people pretty much know how I feel about folks, probably. But
Listen,
Vanessa,
you can make it clear if you'd like.
right,
Or
I
you
can
save that for the
really
summer.
clarify. Well, and my husband is reminding me, like, don't burn your bridges. You have 4 more months.
Burn those bridges down.
I have to say that Vanessa Hall Harper is one of the most principled and patient and determined people I have ever met. Not just that I work with now, but ever. I have seen her just very calmly ask candid, smart, thoughtful questions in the face of people who are being so rude to her time and again. The media sometimes likes to paint her as a firebrand, and they pick the worst pictures to put in the newspapers. I mean, literally the worst. I've had words with them about it. But Vanessa she is cool, calm, and collected. I've learned so much from her. And though Phil Lincoln is the one that, literally climbs mountains on a regular basis, if I were stranded on a desert island, with one of my colleagues, I would want it to be Vanessa. I absolutely would.
All
We would
right.
eat really good food. She's resourceful. She's determined. She's not easily offended.
Excellent.
She's not,
Super
she's brave
personal.
about calling me on my bullshit. I mean, she's really, really ethical, and she just is who she is. I don't have to worry that Vanessa's playing games with me ever. I think District 1 loves her, and I hope that they reelect her. I don't know Franchetta Mays from Eve. I don't know her at all. David Harris, I maybe have met him before, but guys, I'm going to tell you, I'm a little frustrated with him right now, so let me just be candid. David Harris, I saw yesterday, put out some campaign material, a flyer, a meme, something, with Vanessa Hall Harper's dad and daughter from like 4 years ago with him. Now, you don't do that unless you are just trying to troll your opponent. I have so little respect for that. I hope my colleagues don't have to work with him, because that was low. That was low. I'm not down with this dude. I mean, besides the fact of my amazing camaraderie with Councilor Hall Harper, how much I'm impressed with how she works with everyone on the council, even if they are kind of awful sometimes. I don't know why this guy feels like he's got to play games like that, but District 1 deserves better.
What?
Was that candid enough? Eh?
Yes,
Perfect.
that's good. That's good.
Burn those bridges. So
You're not burning a bridge if it never exists, right?
Mhm,
That's right.
mhm.
and also, no one's watching.
Don't try to
So-
bridge to me, David Harris. I'm not
Yeah.
here for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like this question relates to any public office, but I feel like city council especially, because
Mhm.
these are people you will see on the street more often than if you're like a representative or senator. Like, what is the most important trait someone should have to be a good city councilor?
Hmm. It's hard to narrow it down to one thing, because every city councilor comes at it a little bit different, and different districts want different things. My District 4 legitimately wants me to be studying the facts and bring them the information. They want me to give them ways to get involved. Other districts want to be able to complain on any platform and have it just fixed for them. I have some constituents that's what they want, but it's District 4 is weird. And so it's hard for me to speak on behalf of every single city councilor. I've been really impressed with some of the ways that some of my councilors, like Vanessa Hall Harper, like Jeannie Q, are very there for their constituents. Like their constituents know where they live, know their phone number, reach out to them and know they're going to get an answer and that their rep is going to work for them. I think one of the things that I look for, so when I'm evaluating a candidate, I'm trying to figure out how is this person going to interact with me and my issues? Are they going to care? Are they going to blow me off? Do they have someone or some group that is controlling a lot of what they do? Are they, and you can learn a lot from financial reports. Do they have a lot of donors, or do they have a few really big donors? Like those things matter, and those are public information. Being a city councilor, to me, it doesn't mean you do what the most people tell you to do. It's a representative democracy. People elect us to sit in a bajillion hours of meetings and read reports to actually know more than they know and try to make really good decisions and to explain those decisions. And I, some of my colleagues, they say, well, I heard from 10 people today who don't like this, even though the people that we hired told us last week all of the reasons that XYZ needs to be this way. And that I find really frustrating. I think I've had to defend my position sometimes to my constituents, but that's what I came here to do, to help us all get the best city we can have, whether it's the coolest thing or not. So I think being a city councilor, in my mind, you got to be brave and you got to be willing to listen. Those are some big things.
I would say, considering some of my attempts at watching your city council meetings that you've had to sit through, patience and a poker face.
Patience for sure.
Yeah.
Patience and tolerance for nonsense.
I'm gonna play a little clip here, which I think will summarize that feeling.
What I hear when I'm being yelled at is people caring loudly at me.
So from the great Leslie
Yes.
Knope, right?
Yes.
People are very passionate, especially about things that involve like where they live, their homes, and but again, they're also living their lives and working and whatnot, and don't have the time to maybe research these things or read those reports. So maybe they should elect people they trust. Like how our system's supposed to work.
Right.
Anyway,
I had a colleague turn to me at one point and say, people are calling me racist. Like, I'm really upset with this. I don't know how to deal with it. And I said, are they calling you racist? Is what you did racist? Or are they saying that a racist thing is happening and I want you to do something about it? And I'm having a lot of feelings about it. Because really being able to recognize that someone's feelings aren't necessarily about you, or if they are about you, you need to take that seriously and respond accordingly. That's tricky. That's not something I feel like we're necessarily like life lessons that everybody gets. It's a really good skill to have if you're going to be a politician.
All right, let's move on to district. I think I went in order of the map. So let's see.
Okay.
District 3,
you didn't do District 2 next?
No, because it's not next.
Because it's not next.
Because it's not next.
God, so weird.
District 3 next. Yeah. So Krista Patrick elected at the same time as I was. I am very curious to see if her popcorn and cotton candy campaign is going to get the voter turnout that she's aiming for. Krista, like me, we've been pretty worn out by the last few years, and her district is different. Not always a big voter turnout, not always people welcoming folks knocking on the doors. I really do not know Daniel Grove or what he is or is not doing. I've mostly seen him on Reddit saying some campaign positions that I agree with, but I'm not sure he's running much of a campaign. If I had to guess, I'd say Krista's probably done with her campaign next year, or not next year, next week. And chances are then that she'll go on to be the next chair of the council, since she's vice chair right now.
Mm-hmm. When you said that Daniel Grove was making comments on Reddit, I really thought that sentence was going to end a lot differently.
No, they seem like really thoughtful questions. And I just realized I didn't explain the cotton candy popcorn situation.
Yeah.
Okay, so what could...
I was like, is that like a politics term that I should know?
This is
or
a
is
turbo
it literal popcorn?
literal popcorn and cotton candy. So Krista's strategy has been to go out since filing. She's been going out every weekend to a different park or community area in District 3 with her her campaign. Bought a popcorn machine, a cotton candy machine. I'm really curious what they're going to do with them after the campaign. I'm like, should I try to buy that popcorn machine from her?
Maybe.
Right? Maybe so. Maybe I'm calling dibs. You guys get the cotton candy. We will make this a thing for Pod for
I
Good.
like it.
But
I
yeah. So, I mean, she just tells everybody, I'm over here. I got snacks. Anybody want to hang out and talk about stuff? And, that may play really well. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Well, what's the normal like politics thing you're supposed to do? It's like
Shake hands, kiss babies.
yeah, something like that. Like retail politics, I guess is the term I was thinking.
Right?
About. Like, it's just a very specific way of doing retail politics.
Very
Here,
specific.
Have some
I
candy.
like it.
Yeah. Like throw popcorn,
Yeah.
get babies all sticky. I don't know.
That's right.
It works for car dealerships, right? They just give you popcorn. So
There should be balloons. There really should. I'm going to tell her this weekend. Step it up. Get the balloons.
all right.
Or margarita machine.
That's right.
Upgrade.
She
Upgrade.
she has been the top advocate for Margarita Machine in the city council meetings, or in the city council office. I'm not telling on her where she's not a lush. She just we all feel like sometimes after a meeting, like I could really use a margarita, and I don't want to go out of the building. Yeah.
Yeah. As Jesse mentioned, we've watched some of those meetings. We needed drinks afterwards, and we were just watching.
I need a drink.
Yeah.
During, so.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. So again, we're saving your current district for the end. So
The best for last.
That's right.
District 5.
District 5's got a lot of people in it.
District 5 has a lot of people. And, okay, so it took Mikey Arthur Knizek a couple of runs to get this job, right? He ran against Cass Baylor. He lost. He ran again. He won. Will he keep it more than 2 years? I do not know. I do not know how District 5 perceives him. I know my working relationship with him, but I don't know really his connection with his constituents as well as I do with some of my other colleagues. And I don't know the other candidates in the race well enough to say who's going to join Mikey in a runoff, but I do get the vibe that he might end up being in a runoff. It's hard to have that many people running in an election and not end up with a runoff, because you have to get just a smidge more than 50% to avoid a runoff. Maybe he'll get that next Tuesday. I would be a little surprised. I think he's probably going on until November.
Again, but I went back to the map because I wanted to see again where District 5 was, and it just reminded me as we move on to District 6 that like half of District 6 in my mind is Broken Arrow, right? I did not, sometimes you don't realize like how far your city goes in a certain direction, and I honestly like past what is that? Is that county line right there by part of District 6? Like here, my mouse shows up for all of you.
Probably.
But yeah, that's far out there. Anyway,
it is.
I see Lynn Lane over there. I'm like, I did not think Lynn Lane made its way to Tulsa. So anyway, all right.
Yeah.
District 6, 3 people.
Yeah, Christian Bingle. He is one of those perennial candidates that keeps running on the same talking points that didn't win last time. Connie Dotson has ended up being the only candidate of all the city councilors and their challengers who has received money from the GT PAC. And she got that money because some dark money campaigns called her like a flaming liberal and stuff. So it's pretty obvious that it's Christian Bingle and people who support him that were behind the dark money. So she got some money from the GT PAC. No one else did. That's fine. It's still weird that the mayor made that at all. But Luana Harris, I don't know her really, but she seems like a legitimate candidate. Connie's been in for a while, and she listens to the police canner and literally goes to fires at people's homes to like check on them and see if they're all right. Like she has very consistent town halls. She and I disagree about a lot of things, but I know that she has a base of constituents that trust and like her. So she could be done next Tuesday, but maybe not. I don't know.
I don't understand why we don't need dark money in politics anyway, but like dark money in a city council election, like that money can be better used somewhere else.
Somewhere. Yeah.
It is a particular strategy of one of the national parties to go after specifically city council and school districts.
Yeah, we've seen how that has impacted our school districts recently. TPS has gotten buck wild, and it makes city council look very like sedate and
I've
chill.
been to those meetings too, and those meetings are intense.
Yeah, people are like, "Are you going to do that yet next?" And I'm like, "Not while my daughter is also very like toddler and wild." And who knows? Who knows if I ever want to do that? It's not paid at all. So, yeah.
Does Prayer Guys show up to school district meetings as well, or only city council?
I don't. He wasn't at the meetings I was at. I don't think.
Okay.
So.
Right. I'm not sure. I know there are some other meetings that he shows up to. I'm not sure if that is one of them. I don't know.
If in some magical world, if Prayer Guy is watching this live stream, like say hi in the chat. We've heard a lot about you.
If he says hi in the chat, it will be in the form of a prayer.
Yeah.
Just so you know, he is ready to rock, and it's going to be like timed perfectly. Yeah.
He's got to practice those. The way he stays right in his time every time.
He does. He practices them, and he has a script that he follows. I could do it. I could definitely impersonate him at this point without too much effort.
We'll save that we'll save that for the December 4th live
for
stream.
December.
Exactly.
Right? Well, and he does some really good, nice things in his neighborhood. So I've gained some respect for him for that. I wish he wouldn't continue to cheat the system by making comments in that format to utilize, the mic for, it's cheating in my opinion. I don't like it, but whatever.
All right. District 7. This also features a candidate who also runs for mayor a lot, and other
Ken
things.
Reddick.
Yep.
That guy is a legitimate insurrectionist. He was there on January 6th taking pictures of himself. He says he did not go inside the building. Cool. But, and I don't know if you guys caught this. Last week, he said about the mayor's, like, you can get arrested for being homeless on a sidewalk bill. Ken Reddick was like, I might have to, like, really research that. I'm not sure that's best practice. And I was thinking, wow, even this guy is not with you on this, Mayor. But I was proud of Ken Reddick, but he is, I think he and Jerry Griffin have very little chance of beating Lori Decter Wright. She is so smart, so engaged, so caring, definitely not self-righteous. From someone who can sometimes be self-righteous, I was, when the mayor let that drop, I was embarrassed for him.
Is that Dr. Jerry Griffin, the one who's on the school board?
I think yes, it is.
Oh boy! All right.
He checked, and he was allowed to run for that while still holding the position he has.
After going to 2 school board meetings, one specifically about him, say not a fan. So,
Yeah.
Also,
plus,
again, like
Lori was recently endorsed by the fire department.
Oh, yeah. She was. Little known fact, the fire department really supported her. They supported several people, but they really supported Lori. And it's because she stuck her neck out there for them when other people wouldn't. I would have. I had COVID.
Yeah.
All right, District 8.
Right.
Famously known now for that very one strip of mile that they are destroying the funnest part in town to drive.
Right.
Some people are saying that those funds could have been used better to improve the infrastructure of Tulsa in other ways rather than using all of it on one stretch of road. Some people are saying that. I'm not saying who. Some people are saying that.
Yes.
Well, and the evidence suggests that if you build it, they will come. We build the roads wider, they will fill up. We will get more traffic there that we really don't need. I think it was a waste of money and a bad idea. And I said so, but Phil is good at listening to his constituents, the ones that talk to him. He engages with them, and I will be surprised if he has to go on, or well, he won't have to go on. He's only got one opponent. I don't think Scott Houston can beat him on Tuesday. But I agree with Scott Houston that every city councilor should have an opponent at least once in a while. This is Phil's first time having a challenger since he won in his initial election.
Wow.
First time. And I think District 8 gets to at least think about it and engage with him in a different way. And that seems like a good idea to me.
District 8 is very interestingly shaped, I feel, as someone who lives close to it. It's the cutoffs are very interesting points in town, I think. So, but that's how it goes, I suppose.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure if Phil stood on the roof of his house, he could see the Jinx Aquarium. It really is. Yeah, it's one of those edge zones. It's interesting for sure.
I'm like literally almost right next to it, the line between District 9 and 8. But all right, that gets us to my district, which, by the way, District 9, great movie. You should go watch it. I know for a fact that you have endorsed Chad for this, and I'm worried only because in my neighborhood I see mostly Jamie Fowler signs. Which again, Jamie, where are my lights? But I only know about Jamie what I've heard about, and what I've heard has not really been positive. So that's gonna be my intro to you. So
I'm gonna look at my notes and see what I want to say here. Jamie, like Mikey, he came in a couple of years ago. It was a pandemic election. He decided, according to him, saying to me, he decided to run 9 days before the election. I don't know what his constituents' perspective on him is. I'm not sure if District 9 is watching the committee meetings and the city council meetings. If they are, I expect they're probably confused about why he rarely says anything, or why when he does say things, sometimes it's stock tips for stocks that he's invested in, which I'm pretty sure if there were a watchdog, they would have trouble with that. He might win, most likely to attend a ribbon cutting ceremony. He's usually at those. Jamie's not an evil person by any means. It's very admirable that he cares a lot about public schools. I've seen him weighed in on some issues that are tough, legitimately tough. And I also think he is learning, on the go like the rest of us. But I did tell my friends and supporters that I like Chad. He is, he's a veteran. He's a school teacher. He's smart and he's caring and he's out there knocking doors. I would not be surprised to see the two of them in a runoff. Leanne seems like a very nice person. Her neighbors have specifically told me that they really like her, but I haven't seen any of her signs. I've seen more of Chad's, and in the financial reports in Tulsa World, I was surprised how much money Chad raised.
Go Chad.
I'm curious to see what happens. And again, it could go into a runoff, and it might.
It's you don't like to stereotype necessarily by who has what sign, but it is very interesting just throughout town, who has, like, say you're driving down Lewis between, say, 21st and 41st, whose signs are up and whose are not in that particular area along the road there. But I'm excited to, one, vote for Chad, hopefully meet him soon, and if it is a runoff, then definitely get more involved now that I have unpacked. So
right.
So now the district that for some reason is called District 2. District 2. Just renumber them. Are they worried it would confuse people? Is that the problem?
Maybe. There are definitely things that we have specifically done because, oh gosh, people are already going to be confused. When we were doing the redistricting and people got mad that we didn't spend more time waiting to get it done so that more people could give input. One of the points I had to make, my colleagues had to make, is the longer we wait, the more opportunity for confusion there is. And people really don't until like the week before elections usually look at what's on the ballot. And sometimes it's just in line going at the polls, which is always better than not at all.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there was we can talk about it when we get to District 4, but there was some confusion there. Particular person wanted to run. I think he would have been very successful. But luckily, the redistricting was done early enough that he could see that he was no longer in District 4 and other candidates could sign up who maybe would not have.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't even know what would have happened if a candidate had, registered to be a candidate and then after the fact, the district moved. I don't even know if you do in that. Do they become disqualified at that point? Do they get grandfathered in? I mean,
I think we would have had to just push everything back, including the election. Like, we just would not have been in sync with everything if we didn't have our redistricting done. Like, there was a hard and fast deadline. Like, this is the last time you could do it. And we didn't get right to the absolute last, but the closer we got to that, the more time there was for confusion. Like most things with the city and county, even when we got it done, I think we should have had a big marketing push to tell people really, really and truly, this is where the boundaries are. That didn't happen to my satisfaction, but we're in a low tax city and a low tax state, and there's just literally not the budget there for those things that people would legitimately like. I'm using the word legitimately a lot, but I mean it. Yeah.
I mean, I really feel for like something that is an artificially drawn line, right? That there should be, I don't know, so like a Venn diagram meeting area between districts that are right next to each other, because like it's not like that line changes what you care about in your community.
Right.
So it's almost like if you're within like a 3-block range of another district, you should be able to run for either, I think. But
interesting idea.
I mean, because those lines are arbitrary. So
you are really sad about Emeka. I know we all are.
I am.
It was so, and he would have won. He would have outright won. I mean, people on staff, they're not supposed to talk about their opinions, but they were like, we're going to measure things. We're going to figure out how to make it like most accessible. Like, we were all stoked about Emeka. He and I were having long conversations.
Yeah.
I felt like other people might just like not file because it was just so like, he's the guy. I really hope he runs again sometime for something. Yeah.
But
District 2.
We've been talking
we
about
went
District the entire time, but again, District 2 makes no sense. So
GQ is like the grandma of her district. People call her all the time. We all know her ringtone. It goes off in meetings, and it would be hard for someone to challenge her. Anyone? This guy has challenged her, I think every time. Overnight, some young guy again, like Christian Bingle. He's running on the same platform that lost last time. I don't know why. He just likes it, maybe. So Cheney will be done next week, and District 2 will keep bringing. What is it? Crystal Palace is a soccer team. Crystal Bridges? No, that's in Arkansas. What is the shopping center that's Crystal something?
Oh, what's that going to be called? The outlet mall that they're building?
No. It's one that it's in West Tulsa.
Jeannie's going to be sad that I've forgotten this, or maybe she'll never know. But she does a lot for her district. She and I don't always agree about stuff, but again,
I think it is Crystal Palace. Is it or no? Now I'm getting confused.
Yeah, maybe it is Crystal Palace. I don't know. Yep.
Well, to any of the 4 people still watching, if you know, put it in the comments.
Let us know.
All right, now the sole purpose of this conversation in the first place.
Crystal City. Sorry, I had to
City.
resolve it. I wasn't going to be able to let it go.
Yes.
Crystal City. We solved it. We figured it out.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah.
Thank you.
District 4.
Yes.
Yep. There it is. It is. And then there were 5.
Yep.
Yes.
So
I literally had to remove some while Chris and I were talking at the very beginning of this because he told me 2 people dropped out. I was like,
I was going to have to tell you, way to be on it, Chris.
Yeah.
So they had and I saw it posted on Facebook, they had a forum last night.
They did. At the Tulsa Press Club.
Yeah. It was very tight. I was like, did they not realize how many candidates they had, like when they set up this seating?
Well.
But we know you have endorsed Laura Bellis. Laura Bellis also been on the pod. I would say probably one of the most engaged individuals in city government that I've ever met. Like, she went to meetings all the time, a lot more meetings than I've ever gone to. I also know Matthew Franzen. He's also a really great dude. Would serve the district really well. I don't really know the other three, but I know that you have feelings about some of them. So
Sure.
We can talk about those feelings.
Yeah, and we can go down the list. I mean, Laura, I think I told you before. She, I made a spreadsheet. Laura has, on average, emailed me at least once a month for the past 4 years about a range of issues, and that's in addition to texting me and coming up to speak at city council meetings while she's on the Human Rights Commission, while she's doing a lot of other really great work. She can hit the ground running. She knows what she's doing. She's literally been in the room where it happens a lot. Michael Burke seems like a sweet old guy that I've just got to know. And I hope that I loved some of his answers in the forum last night and the one last week. And I hope that he and I get to work together in the next 4 months after the election. Matthew, like you said, he's a smart guy. He seems like he really knows that he's a smart guy, and maybe he's a little salty that he's not getting more traction in the election. That came through in the forum last night, and that's not really the look you want to go for. But again, like Michael Burks, I hope that he and I can find ways to collaborate for the rest of my term. He and I we talked about it a little bit last night, and once we get past next Tuesday, the 23rd, then we'll talk some more about what kinds of things the people who've been engaged want to do in District 4. Like I said, District 4 is one of those places where people really want to be engaged. Where to go next? Michael Feimster or Bobby Orcutt? What do you guys think? I'll let you choose.
I think the one that's got randomly lots of money behind them for some reason. Michael Feimster.
Oh,
which also sounds like a fake last name to me. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I think it really is his last name, and I wish he had introduced himself to me anytime in the last 4 years. I wish he had voted in municipal elections, or emailed me about anything, that any kind of advocate where I would have tried, or we would have had a chance to come in contact before he decided to start raising huge amounts of money to unseat me. And I'm not, as I put it, repudiating his campaign because he decided to try to unseat me. Whatever. But I have starting last November till filing, I saw him attend one Republican event after another. He was being very, very partisan. And when he filed, the first image he had up there with him was conspiracy theorist and mega Trump supporter Vic Regalado. And then his campaign, or someone supporting his campaign, did some polling, and I saw a lot of his positions shift and become a lot more moderate. And that makes me nervous. I can't get a good read on him. People also consistently tell me he is a really nice guy, and so I feel hesitant to speak ill of anyone. It's not where I want to come down. I don't want to be. I try to never do negative campaigning, but we're not hiring someone to be our buddy when we're doing an election, right? Although I like to have a beer with you guys, I'm also competent as an elected official. And he might really grow and learn in the job. But I don't, and a lot of his answers have been good, but I don't feel confident that he really knows what's going on and has been paying attention long enough, or that he will be consistent. He makes me nervous, and I don't get that vibe from either Laura Bellis or Bobby Orcutt. And that's why I gave Bobby kind of an honorable mention in my endorsement of Laura Bellis, because Bobby seems like a really authentic dude. He is who he says he is. He's really smart. He gave some great answers last week. I do not think that this is the last we'll see of Bobby Orcutt. He He's got a taste for like getting into public policy, and he cares about a lot of different stuff. And last night after the forum, instead of feeling, really nervous, he was like, if I don't win, I've got these other ideas of ways that I could help. And he's really enthusiastic and excited. And he and Michael Burks both emailed me during the whole mask debate to advocate, but Bobby actually came to that meeting where people were like yelling and ripping off their masks and spitting and all of that. And like he and all the brewery guys were there, like solidly supporting me in the weirdest city council meeting I've ever attended. And that's legit. I think he will continue to be a part of things. What more can I say, guys? What do you think?
One thing I don't know if you saw the Tulsa World article where they had sent out a set of questions to every everyone running for city council. And I will just say that while a lot of Michael Feimster's answers were very sort of neutral or, it seemed very much in line with the spirit of the district. Couple of the questions, I think his partisanship kind of started to show. This sort of cover started to crack a little bit. The one on the Office of Independent Monitor, it was fairly clear his stance and what it would mean for the district. Discussion of the mayor's policy on the potentially finding and arresting homeless people, and then the question on mask policy.
Yeah.
And the fact that his answers were pretty wildly different than all the other people running, and different than, I think, if you polled the district, what most people in the district might say. I think that is maybe a little bit of, you might say, a canary in the coal mine to tell you where he might swing on other issues as well.
I think so too. And that, that's so when I'm trying to evaluate a candidate, I try to look at things like, what did this person do before they were trying to promote themselves publicly? And his gives me a lot of pause. It really, really looked like he was being more maybe or authentically himself, and then did some polling and realized District 4 is more moderate than he thought, and started to, like you say, putting on a cover. If that's not what he's doing, then he'll if he runs again, he's going to need to think about why it looked that way. But like looking at do people vote? Do they speak at meetings? Do their reps know who they are? Do they serve on committees or otherwise volunteer? Those are the things that I'm looking at. Do they understand the job? I mean, early on, his website and several of his materials that came out were just false about what the city council does, or what we've said, or what we're doing. And they, I mean, it wouldn't be too hard to search and find the right answers, but that's not what his team did. And at the forum last week, he said, I think there's video out there that Skip Morgan got, but he said, I think I can say verbatim, he said that this city council was formed by Mayor Randall in order to be an advisory board for the mayor. Now, I'm a legislator. I'm not an advisory board member. I mean, Congress is not an advisory board for the president. And while we have a strong mayor form of government, we can override a veto of the mayor. Like, we have legitimate power. And that made me nervous. Like, yeah, we're not here to be yes men to whatever mayor is in power. We're checks and balances, right? We're collaborating.
I feel like with 5 candidates, this one's probably going to go into a runoff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that'll be interesting to see what happens with that. And when there's less candidates vying for attention, what information is going out, what candidates are saying. So I imagine this one will continue on into November. But
I have seen in my neighborhood, I've seen 4 of the 5 candidates' signs in the neighborhood. I will say that Bobby has the coolest sign because it's like a cartoon of his face. It's great. It's great. But
Yeah.
it really has been. It seems like, the Michael and Laura are the ones I've seen the most, and then probably Bobby, pretty close to those other two, and
Yeah.
then Matthew less, but I've seen his around.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it'll be very interesting to see, and the way Jesse described his district, I've certainly seen that here. Certain areas you see one type of sign versus others, and I'll just say it doesn't surprise me where I see one type of sign versus another.
Sure. And I mean, Jean, my spouse, and I were watching when campaigning started and where it started, and we know how people vote, and so I mean, I feel pretty confident that it's down to Bobby Dean, Laura Bellis, and Michael Feimster. But the reason I don't count Bobby Dean out is because he's the dark horse. He brings in people who wouldn't vote otherwise. And I think Michael Burks and Matthew Francine can do that to some extent as well. They are beloved by many people. And I wouldn't be surprised if Matthew in particular runs again. I know Michael Burks has been involved with city government before, and he cares and he wants to be involved more. I think it'll probably come down to those three, and it will be really interesting to see what happens next. And I'm going to be out there knocking doors when it's cooler. Yay!
Yeah. I know. Where was this for us last week, Jesse?
Yeah. Chris and I went on the Terrence Crutcher Foundation community walk last
Yeah.
Saturday.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was really
Cool,
hot.
guys. It's really hot.
It was really hot. We were right by I-244, so I was just angry the entire time.
Oh yeah.
Like literally right next to.
Speaking of, we did say we would communicate this. That this because this is in your current district. The sound, the noise pollution from 244, now that there are no trees or anything blocking the sound, is very difficult for those houses. So this is, let's see, between Harvard, was it, Jesse?
Yeah, it's between Harvard and Delaware, like 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Street, that neighborhood.
The portion where the neighborhood is actually above 244.
Yeah.
And there's a bridge. There's a
the
pedestrian
walking bridge. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Oh.
No. So several of the doors we knocked, they mentioned that. We said we'd communicate it, and we want to make sure that we do that.
Yeah.
That's great. I will talk to Councillor Patrick about that too. It's there's one place, I think it's 71st, maybe there's a couple in Tulsa, where the neighborhood got the funding to put up big sound walls, but it's not a thing that the city can fund at all. Maybe we should just, I don't know, remove that piece of highway.
That would be good too.
Yeah.
Hey,
how about we just remove the highway?
Yeah.
If the city can't afford the budget to maintain trees to block the sound, let's use the federal money and get rid of that highway. I-244. Tear it down. Tear down the highway and burn all of your bridges.
We should have a literal, if that happens, we should have a literal bridge burning ceremony where we all just pretend to light the bridge of 244 on fire.
I would like a fundraiser to help raise funds to tear it down would be for who gets to push down the little TNT thing,
like Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner kind of.
That's definitely how this is done, right? There's they set up dynamite, they run a little wire, and somebody goes like that. Yeah.
It's like a reverse ribbon cutting. So.
Yes. We've got giant scissors, so surely we have one of those big TNT
if not,
boxes
we can
somewhere.
Yeah, we can make one. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll let you go now because we've already been going on for an hour, so we won't get to talk about the owl people and how they're doing these days.
Oh, the owl people. We're on the debate thing or on the forum thread online, and I'm trying to say crazy things about District 4 candidates, and I'm like, oh, owl people. I love owls. I don't hate cats, and some of those owl people really hate cats, and what can you say?
The one thing I miss most about District 4 is it also, I feel like, encapsulated the weirdest, funnest parts of Tulsa. It's got the fun people.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sad. Like one of your last acts as my city councilor was literally helping me pack our house. So I just want to thank you again for that.
You're
We really
welcome. It
needed
was fun. Mhm.
We needed your
I told
positive
Jesse
energy,
you were so ready to get him out of your
Yeah,
district
you were
that
like,
you would help him
out,
pack.
get out.
Get out.
Just moving from darkness to darkness. It's fine.
You can do public comment. You can sign up online, do a 5-minute public comment at the end of any city council meeting, and it could be all about Jamie Fowler, Where Are My Lights?
All right, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Is that next Wednesday? Will there be
You need to sign up in advance. I'll send you the link.
All right, I'll do it. I'll be
Okay.
like, Jamie, where
All
are my
right.
lights?
And don't forget, everyone, starting tomorrow, you can
Yes.
do early voting.
Yes.
Yes.
Thursday, 8 to, is it 5, 6?
Let me see. I can pull it up right now.
Yeah. You could tell we do so much preparation.
Yeah.
So much preparation.
We are professionals. You should have heard the 17 minutes of filler before you arrived. It was.
Oh,
was
sorry, I
golden.
was late, guys. I
That's
really
all
thought
right.
it started at 6:30. Every other meeting I've had this week started at 6:30.
That's okay.
It's not you being out of sync. You're wonderful. Here we go. All right. So voting. Early voting on the 18th, 19th, and 20th. On the 18th and 19th, it is from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Tulsa County Election Board. On the 20th, it is 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's on Saturday, again at the election board. And of course, on Tuesday, the 23rd, polls are open 7 to 7. If you are in line by 7 p.m., they have to let you in to vote.
But we're not allowed to give people waters anymore, right? No, is that only in Georgia?
I don't know.
But
I'm giving people waters either way. I mean,
Yeah.
you're going to have to get arrested at some point in your life for something, right?
God,
Right.
I would love to get arrested for one, either like boycott, like messing up traffic on I-244, or like just making it more comfortable for people to vote. Those are my two
Yeah.
things. So,
Right? I'm in.
arrest me. All right.
You tell the judge that you're arresting me for giving somebody water.
Yeah. The judge is gonna be like, oh, God, one of these.
Mhm.
Well, KJ, thank you so much for joining us. Like, this
Yes,
has been
thank you.
immensely informative. Thank you for all of your work on the city council.
You bet.
I hope you have like a 6-month vacation planned after December, or just like sleep for a while.
Right?
Do whatever.
Gonna make some art with my daughter. Oh, this is what we've been making lately. She's been really into making
Ooh.
things with
Oh.
yarn and stars. So yeah.
That is great.
Yes,
That's-
very easy to clean up from those.
Yeah, that's my my husband's like, no more glitter.
Yeah.
But that's my plan. It really is. Yeah.
Well, good. You deserve it.
Thanks.
And I would love for you to experience just an interaction with people where they're not yelling at you about something.
Oh
So,
man, it'll be easier to tell who's my friend because they actually like me versus they're trying to be my friend because they want something. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Mhm.
I'm looking.
Jesse
forward
already
to
told me
yeah.
he's never talking to you again.
That's not true. I'm looking forward to talking with you more now because like,
Right, I'll have time.
That's
yeah,
right.
I won't feel bad texting you on a Wednesday and being like, she's never going to see this. She's in
Yeah.
meetings all day. So,
Yeah.
well, say hi to both your husband and your lovely little girl.
I thought you were going
for
to
me.
say
Yeah.
hi to both your husbands.
Yeah, both your husbands. Listen, what she does in the privacy of her own home is on her. So
I
Oh,
don't think Jean
say,
will appreciate that.
right. Say hello to your lovely wives
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
cats. And do you have a dog, Chris?
Yes, I do.
I thought so. Yeah, that one too.
Yes, thank
I'm
you.
amazed. I'm amazed. One, the dog didn't make an appearance. I think
I
someone's
actually
cat
shut him out. I shut. Really, it's not to shut him out. He will mostly just lay down behind me. It's one of the cats who will pick the worst possible time to jump on me, crawl up my shoulders, and start clawing at my back.
Malcolm, I love you. That's the
Yeah.
name of Chris's cat.
Excellent.
Yes.
He's got great dramatic timing for a
Yeah.
cat. So,
Mhm.
well, thank you, KJ. Good luck with the rest of your term, which
Yeah.
it goes on for a while.
It does.
So you still got things to do. And,
Yep. Getting the water back on for some Afghan refugees this week.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
there are important things for me to do
Yes.
yet.
Yeah. But
And you still got to find time to burn bridges while you're at it.
That's right,
I
yeah.
know. Oh, yeah. Watch for that. It's going to happen.
burn those bridges down. All right. Well, thank you so much. for people still listening, I put the early voting dates in the chat. You can also easily Google them as I did, which was just like Tulsa August 2022 election, and the information is readily available. So thank you so much for this, and go back to just doing your job while also not running for office. So, which I imagine is much more easy. So
we shall see. I hope so.
Yeah.
all right.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Thank
drink
you.
soon. And good night, everybody.
Good night.